Hi, it's Vanessa. Welcome back. I have some exciting news today. So I have a friend that contacted me through Instagram, and she told me that she got diagnosed for Cushing's. And just yesterday, she had her pituitary surgery to remove the tumor. And she's doing well, but the crazy news is that she'd had her surgery in Houston, which was from my hometown. So I was just very excited to meet her. When I met her, she was the most beautiful person inside and out, and went through so much. And she's doing okay. So we got to discuss a lot of important topics about Cushing's. I stopped filming when we got more personal because I don't want all of her personal business to be on like YouTube. But I just want to thank her for being so open about her experience and letting me share this video with you guys. I hope that we can continue to educate, advocate, and raise awareness together. If you haven't already, please subscribe to me. Here's the clip of our video. Hi guys!
Hi everybody!
So I'm just here visiting my friend. Her name is Baby. How did we meet?
Let's see, we met on Instagram, right?
Right, you messaged me telling me that you got diagnosed.
Yeah. And like actually I found your blog originally. It was not your YouTube, it was your blog, and I remember thinking like, this is the first time I've seen like an Asian girl with Cushing's, and I thought like, oh my gosh, like her face looks just like mine, like in your pre-pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, and so I was like, I have to talk to her because like everyone keeps saying like I'm just overeating, and I'm like, but I don't think this is what my face is supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll have to cut that.
So when did you find my blog?
I think it had to have been at the beginning of my journey because I remember that was one of the things that like convinced me to go through with more testing, because like a year ago I had been tested and they said like, oh, it's negative, it's normal, you don't have Cushing's. And then later on I think I found your blog, and I also got a comment from somebody, her name's Samantha, and she told me like I was misdiagnosed with PCOS too, and she said you sound like you have Cushing's because the hot flashes and all the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to the doctor and I was like, I really do need to get tested again because the PCOS meds aren't helping. And I was like starving myself. That's the other thing.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think our journey was pretty much very, very similar.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Cushing's patients has that, we feel like we have to be really like, we don't look the same as we used to.
Exactly.
And you're just trying to get back to who you felt like comfortable with.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe that.
I know, right? Like, but I've had it for a very long time. So like for me, I was like, I just kind of thought like this is just me and it's my fault. Like I wasn't
felt
sure.
that same way too, and it's just, why is it that shame that we get?
I know, right?
There's that shame, right?
Yeah.
That no one will understand. Like
nobody. Like you have to have Cushing's to get it.
Yeah.
Because you just start to think like maybe I am craving tomorrow. So, but yeah, I don't know, like, I also thought, like, I did this to myself, like, I thought maybe I am just eating too much, and then I started actually calorie counting, and I was eating, like, between 500 and 700 calories, and, like, when I calculated my basic metabolic rate, it should have been much higher than that.
Yeah, and basically, we were sick with Cushing's with an eating disorder. Like,
exactly.
Not even eating, like, kind of borderline anorexia,
Yeah, it's like, it is anorexia, but we don't look like we are, so no one believes us.
Right.
They're like, oh, you're not really eating that little.
Yeah, or, something's wrong, like, you just think, like, oh, just get on a diet, and it'll solve your problems or something.
Yeah, like, if it was that easy, I would be skinny. And it was weird, because, like, I cut out, like, all these different things just to prove a point, like, I'm not eating a lot of carbs, so why am I not losing weight? I'm not even eating carbs anymore. It came to the point where I was only eating, like, salad and plain meat with, like, no flavoring.
Me too, girl. So, how long have you been feeling sick for?
Like, I think my symptoms actually started when I was a child, because I started ballooning up between ages 7 and 8, and I'd gotten hit in the back of the head with a rock, which is what my doctors think might have set it off. But I'm not really sure. I just know that I got the moon face around that age, and that's also when I started having really bad insomnia. And, my parents kept telling me, like, you need to sleep. You're doing this. You're the one who's staying up. And I'm like, I can't sleep. I'm trying. And, like, I would cry, like, like, because I knew that in the morning I would be low and I'd be like miserable.
Oh, yeah, and it's so hard. You were so young and nobody understood, and
Yeah.
like they were telling you kind of it's your fault why
Yeah.
you're like this.
Yeah, and then it's
Yeah.
like then the mental symptoms started and like the depression. Like when you're 10 years old
You
and
were
you're
depressed at 10.
yeah, like I wanted to kill myself by the time I was 11. And I just think
Oh.
that's crazy that like no one would think like maybe there's something going on in her brain.
No, they always would just be like, oh, she's just like a moody girl.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, like when I started like breaking out and getting that moon face, like, you know, people would be like, oh, you're just stressing too much. Like, take it easy, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And I'm just like
Thanks, I'm cured.
trying.
Like, I don't get why people think it's that easy. Like, oh, just don't stress. Like, okay, well, if I could just don't stress, I would.
Mm-hmm.
It's really easy to
But,
say that.
You know, the thing about it is that you went through something so young and something really, you know, hard to like live with. It's like it's a rare disease, and you're gonna be so much stronger once you do recover.
I really hope so. Like, I'm so worried right now.
What
like,
are you worried about?
Well, I'm just worried, like, what if I don't get better? Because, like, after, you know, being told it's one thing, then another, and then now we're finally at the end of the line of what things it could be, I'm just like, oh, I hope this is actually what it is, since they kept telling me it was something else along the way.
It is.
Yeah.
You'll be okay, you know, like, and just small chance, even if it's not, you know, you'll still be okay.
Yeah.
You'll still be okay. I had the same worries too. After I had the surgery, like I still didn't feel like, you know, I was improving as fast as I expected.
Uh-huh.
And so I like emailed my doctor like, hey, did you take the tumor out of me? And he was like, yes, I did. And I'm like, why didn't you show me or something? I was that patient, you know, like I was just really like hard on myself because being sick for so long, you are very hard on yourself.
Yes.
So you expect your body to just heal like that too,
Yeah.
you know, but it doesn't. You really have to be patient. And
It's funny you say that because when I woke up from surgery, I remember thinking, first, am I dead? And then I thought, did they really take the tumor out? I was like, why don't I feel that bad? Like, everyone told me I should feel worse. And I felt kind of normal, minus the whole splitting headache thing.
you feel kind of normal because they injected you with a lot of steroids.
Yeah,
And you'll start to feel it once it wears off.
yeah. Well, that's the thing, is here, like, we actually got in a bunch of arguments with them about it because they didn't want to give me steroids.
So what happened?
Well, like my endocrinologist, I see Dr. Friedman in California, he wants us to be on steroids because he knows that you can crash after the surgery.
Right.
But here, apparently, their endocrinology team, who, again, has nothing to do with me, they don't want people to have it. It's like, so you want us to go into adrenal crisis? It makes no sense. So, like, the first day I didn't have anything at all, actually. Yeah, and then the second day I had to fight for my meds, and at the third day I was just like, if they're not going to give it to me, I'll take my own. I don't even care. You know, I know how I feel and I know what's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, I think not being believed is probably the worst part about this disease.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know, you're stuck in your own body. Like, I mean, you are, but in a prison, you know?
Yeah,
your body is the prison, yes.
Exactly, and no one knows, like, what it feels like, and people just think, like, you're exaggerating, like, it's not that big of a deal, you're not really in pain because you look normal, you probably just ate yourself to that weight, you know? And there's nothing you could do about it. Like, I know you tried everything probably, too. You probably over-exercised, all that sort of stuff, and it's, like, it's crazy because, like, you can't prove it to anyone. They're not going to walk around with you every day. The only people who see it for me was my boyfriend at the time.
Well, thank God for him.
I know, right? It's a good thing that I finally got a doctor to test me enough.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Like, it was really nice watching all your videos and, like, having someone to relate with, because, like, you can read posts on Facebook and stuff, but actually hearing it from somebody and, like, seeing how it affected them, like, there are a lot of things that you talked about that other people don't talk about, like, the shame associated with it, and I feel like that's something that we should talk about, because other people don't understand what it's like when you internalize all that stuff. And you believe all that stuff about yourself that other people say. And, like, you know, I don't know how it is for you and your family, but, like, and maybe I do because of some of your videos, but, like, having an Asian mom also, you know, they're really critical sometimes.
They are, yeah.
And, you know, the whole weight thing and stuff. And I don't know, it's hard.
Oh, sweetie. I'm really glad that you've gotten better. Like, I'm just so glad to be here. You know, things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get so much better.
I hope so.
You will. And, you know, I've talked to so many patients, too, who had the brain tumor, the pituitary tumor, and sometimes, yeah, there might be recurrence, but there's solutions for it. You can re-surgery or just take the adrenals out.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking, like, after going through this experience, I was like, I don't know that I would want to do the brain surgery again, but if I could get an adrenalectomy, I would do it because, you know, what's the point in going back and messing up again? Just take out the problem. The problem is the cortisol. So, but I'm really happy that you're here. Like,
I'm so happy to be here.
It's really nice finally meeting somebody who's actually lived it and, like, gotten better.
Yeah, that's what I hope for. I do notice when I was sick, too, there wasn't a lot of people, you know, talking about everything. I mean, like, I would read stories online, like cushingstories.com or CSRF and stuff like that, but, you know, I just wanted more information. For most of the people who are struggling with it, like, we just can't stop researching about it, right? Is that true?
Yeah.
Like, I would stay up every night just reading more and more stories about Cushing's and, like, how people's lives, their outcome, and whatever, and I just felt like I needed to make a bit, like a channel.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that the channel has helped you, you know, and I'm glad that you want to talk about the shame associated with Cushing's too, because I feel like many people are embarrassed about what happened.
Exactly. Embarrassed.
Like, this happened to us for a reason. We have to talk about it, you know, and like kind of educate more people on it too.
Yeah. I don't ever want anybody else to ever have to suffer this way, because
No.
I just feel like this is the worst, like, it was the worst feeling, and it was awful. It was awful not being listened to, not being believed, and then also having to deal with all the emotions by myself. And it was like, even like medical professionals, like psychiatrists or whatever, psychologists, like, even they told me, like, you can't have Cushing's. I was like, I'm here crying in your office, and you just yelled at me that I don't have Cushing's. Well, guess what? I just had brain surgery. So, doctor, if you're watching this video, you're stupid, and I really did have Cushing's.
To all of the people who didn't think that, you know, she was sick or we were sick, like, doesn't it feel good, though, to, like, get that diagnosis and then now getting the surgery?
Yeah.
Like, you've made it so far.
Like, I finally feel vindicated, like, because I feel like I've been trying actively to be diagnosed for the last, like, 8 years, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. It was, like, every issue on the planet because my body was falling apart.
Yeah.
But the weirdest thing is that no one ever brought Cushing's up as even, like, a possibility.
No.
So, yeah, someone else outside of everything had to bring it up.
Right.
And, like, the funny thing is, I work in a laboratory, I run a laboratory, and I'm a medical professional, and I remember learning about Cushing's when I was in school, and I remember thinking, like, I have every single one of those symptoms, but I don't have the stretch marks, so that must not be me.
Right. And everybody's symptoms is so different.
Yeah.
We have some similar symptoms, but some of them is really different too. Like, I never got the stretch marks, but then I got the orange hands.
You didn't get the stretch marks?
No.
Even with adrenal, wow.
That's so weird, right? But I had the orange hands. I mean, I could say I was moisturizing a lot, but I don't think that was it, you know? But yeah, I mean, I had the worst case of acne.
Really?
Yeah, and then the endocrinologists were just like, adrenal patients don't get bad acne. And I'm like,
okay. And yeah, I've noticed that too. I've noticed that some people get really bad acne, and like I somehow stopped getting acne, which is weird, but instead I have the bumpy skin texture. So, but the funny thing is, a dermatologist was actually one of the first people to say, you have something going on with you, and they based that on my skin. But at the time, I was just like, I was ready to give up, so I didn't pursue anything. And I just kind of wish, like, I kind of wish that I had listened to them, because they knew something was going on with me.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but you're here now, and that's just all that matters, right? That you got your diagnosis.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see in 2 months, right?
I know you can be skeptical about how things are right now.
Yeah.
Because I was too, and that goes along with, you know, the symptoms with paranoia.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was really paranoid too.
Yeah. And like I've been reading, I know I shouldn't be reading a bunch, but of course we're cushy, so we do. Hi.
Hey, hello.
Hello.
I was just coming to say bye.
Oh, okay.
Lucy's gonna be with you tonight again.
Okay.
So, are you getting makeup done?
No.
Okay.
She's a former Cushy too.
Oh.
Yeah, she
okay.
had adrenal Cushings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, nice to meet you. You have Panda?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna eat.
Okay.
I'm
Good.
excited.
Well,
Thank you for everything.
I hope everything goes well. Tell your dad I'm sorry.
Not your fault.
Hope he still likes me.
No. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know I need to like temper my expectations, but I
It's
just keep
okay.
thinking, when is it gonna happen? When am I gonna start?
Trust the process.
Trust the
And that's
process.
what Cushing's really taught me, is to be more patient, you know, and to love myself, because I didn't have any self-love.
Me neither. Like, I feel like I've finally forgiven myself, or I don't know how to explain it, but like, I used to blame myself, and now I've kind of backed away from doing that, and now I don't take it out on myself because I know I didn't do this to myself. Like, for a while there, I doubted myself, but now I'm just like, you did not do this to yourself. I know you didn't.
Yeah. Do you have any, like, you gotta have to let go of expectations too, you know?
Yes.
I can't tell you what to do, because when I was in that position, like, I didn't want to hear nobody, you know, hear nobody out.
Yeah.
But eventually, you go from being this stressed out person because of your tumor to, like, once you start recovering, months go by, you're going to be feeling more relaxed, more chilled out, and it just kind of, like, spiraled me into, like, loving myself so much more.
Good.
And so I just wish that's going to happen for you too.
Good.
And I know it will.
I think so. I really think so. Like, I know I'm in a good place. I know I have a good surgeon. I try to rationalize and, like, you know, talk myself through things to get through the anxiety, because I've lived with it for so long. But, you know, sometimes you slip up. But I just got to trust that it's going to happen.
Yeah, just trust the process.
Yeah.
Just let go of any other, just, you know, take care of yourself right now and let go of the stress.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Did you get panic attacks?
You know, I do or did, like, but not as much as I would say other people seem to have them, but that's because I've had it for so long. So it was more like when I was a teenager, like starting from around 11, I would have like really severe mood swings where I'd start, you know, freaking out, getting really depressed, really easily upset. And of course, it always corresponded to my periods, because that's when your cortisol stopped producing hormones. And like, I stopped growing when I was 10. Yeah, so those kind of things and the health issues associated, those were really tough, because some of the health issues that were caused by the things that Cushing's was doing, I guess, those were really painful, and no one could figure out why. And I felt like I was losing my mind, because some doctors would tell me, like, it's all in your head, your pain isn't real. Yeah, totally, seriously. They'd say, like, it's psychosomatic, you need to go see a psychiatrist. And I was like, well, I am seeing a psychiatrist, and the pain's not in my head, it's real. But I was like, you know, how do I get someone to believe that my pain is real when they're telling me my labs look fine, there's nothing wrong with me? And I just started to think, am I crazy? Like, why am I thinking that I'm in so much pain and there's no evidence that there should be pain? So I really, you know, I almost gave up. I really did. I moved to Hawaii for a year, and I didn't want to reestablish care while I was there. So during that year, I didn't pursue anything, and I'm just glad that, you know, thank God, everything seems to work out. I got a job back in Alaska with an endocrinologist, and I, you know, somehow came to this arrival. And God bless Samantha, too, for talking to me on Facebook, because if she hadn't, you know, told me about the group, I never would have gone back to the Cushing's thing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just all part of the plan for you.
Yeah.
I'm a little sleepy. So I'm not sleepy, but like, I am very forgetful, and if I work like a long week, then I'm like just out of it. So I'm sorry.
You're fine. What do? Do you do like all like different esthetician things, or just the eyebrows? Or?
A few. I do dermaplaning. I do the brow thing, and then I do eyelash extensions too.
I'm like, your brows are so pretty.
I
love
maybe
eyebrows.
next time you're back here, I'll do some brows for you.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome. You know, I'm actually like staying here for a couple days after, and my dad's just like, why do we have to stay here? And I'm just like, because I just had brain surgery.
Come on, Dad.
Can I just like relax a little, maybe?
But it's okay. Like, people, you know, my family too, they didn't really get it either.
Really?
Yeah, even during recovery, they're like, oh, you got surgery, you're fine now.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about you anymore, you know? And people just but I mean, I didn't want people to worry about me, but I just wanted them to not stress me out.
Exactly.
And like, you know,
be patient with us.
Yes.
That's my message for people watching this. If you or your loved one, somebody, be patient and just let it happen, and don't blame them, especially for their emotions, because cortisol is literally the stress hormone. So if we're stressed, think about why we're stressed. Cortisol, we can't really control it.
No, we can't.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that you talked about some of the things on your channel that you've talked about, because my whole life I just thought, like, in my head, like, I'm alone in this and no one else feels this way. But it's nice to know that clearly other people have the same thoughts.
People do. And this just makes you so much stronger. Going through some sort of adversity that no one understands makes you more of a patient person too.
It teaches you empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Empathy.
Like I know that probably before, if I didn't have this disease, I probably would be a more judgmental person, and I probably would not be very patient or tolerant. But now, you know, I see what it's like on this side of the tracks, and I don't want to judge other people, because for all I know, they're going through the same thing.
So what is your main concern right now, besides recurrence?
I don't know. I guess, well, the future for everyone else. I know that sounds really stupid. Like,
no, that's not stupid. That's the same thing. I feel that way too, you know?
Yeah.
Because, you know, you go everywhere, no one wants to help you. You're literally dying with this tumor, and nobody believes you, you know. And on top of that, you don't even believe yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so like out of body experience type of thing, right?
Yeah, and like we have the little group chat between us younger cushies, and they do the same thing where they go back and forth. Maybe I don't have it, maybe I do have it, and I'm like, girl, you have every single symptom. You have high cortisol, you have Cushing. Stop doubting yourself just because your doctors don't believe you yet. And that's the thing, is like, for me, I worry that the Endocrine Society is not helping people because they haven't updated their testing guidelines. And there's a huge difference between adrenal and pituitary Cushing's.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's the people who get the cycles.
Yes, which is me. Because
Yes.
so in the morning I'd be really low, super nauseous and sick, and they'd measure my cortisol in the morning, and it'd be like 0.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd be like, oh, it can't be Cushing's. You don't even have any cortisol. And then at night it'd be super, super high.
Tricky. But you caught it early, right? I mean, you've been sick for a while, but then you're still very young.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm young enough to get better.
And I can tell that you're going to be an advocate too, you know. Once you see, like, through this time of, like, maybe recovery, I think it's important for you to share the message too.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, my parents have talked about, like, well, when you're better, you won't need the Cushing's group anymore. And it's like, it's not about me needing them. It's, I want to offer them, you know, what I can offer them, because I don't want other people to suffer, and I don't want other people to have to take as long to get to where I got to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad that depending on where you are in the U.S. and who you can see, some people may never get a diagnosis, and because they can't afford it.
They can't afford it, or they're tired of hearing doctors, you know, turn them away.
Exactly. Like, people just give up because they say, okay, well, maybe it really is my fault. A lot of people don't have the same resolve. I kind of feel like those people, they'll eventually come back, because you won't get better. You know, you can cover the problems up as much as you want, cover each individual symptom, but the disease will still kill you eventually.
What has this disease, I know I asked you, like, what's the most debilitating, like, symptom, but do you have any, like, memory of, like, the lowest you felt during this disease?
Like, mentally, I tried to kill myself, so I'd say that's pretty low. And I had thoughts about it all the time. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, in the last month I even, you know, thought about it, because I was just thinking, like, do I want to go through with the surgery? Like, do I want to like put myself out there and risk being disappointed of not getting cured, you know? Like, I just thought, like, maybe it's not even worth it. And it makes me so sad to think that because, I mean, if I hadn't done the surgery, I would have killed myself. And so I thought, if death is going to be the answer either way, then I need to do the surgery because it's the only way I'll ever know if I could get better. I hate that. I hate that's what this disease does to you, because I feel like those aren't even my own thoughts. Like, sometimes I feel like my body is just telling me to do it. And, like, it's the cortisol speaking to me. Like, the cortisol is overwhelming me and just telling me, like, just get it over with because,
your mind is all in a mix.
Yeah, it's a jumble.
You feel like the paranoia causes you to overthink too, and then you end up like in some other like kind of like some sort of like high, right, off of the cortisol.
Yeah.
And it just takes you somewhere completely else.
Like, you almost like dissociate, I guess.
Yes.
Like, sometimes you feel like you're not in your own body and you're just like, that is not me doing that, and people don't believe you when you say that, like, I'm not in control of my emotions right now, and they're just like, well, you're the one saying it. I'm like, but I don't want to, like, I'm trying to suppress my emotions, and I'm getting angry at myself, and I'm making it worse by doing that.
Right. And
yeah.
Don't you just, it was a part of you just hating yourself so much too, right?
Yes, because I'm like, everything. Why am I like this?
Why am I like this? Like, 1 minute, like, why am I such a horrible person? Like, am I getting punished for, like, being this way? Like, you just don't know.
Yeah, like, sometimes you think, like, is this a lesson from God to punish me for something I did? Like, is this a lesson so that I won't be a certain way? And I try to believe, I'm not a positive person because I've had Cushing's for so long, but I try to believe that this disease was given to me for a reason, that I learned empathy, and I will never be a terrible person because of it.
I feel the exact same way. I'm so sorry that, you went through it so young, and just a month ago you thought about ending your life.
Yeah.
And that's another scary thing about this disease is that, if people don't get diagnosed, it's not like they're just going to die of the disease. They just might just kill themselves because they can't take it anymore.
Exactly. Like, if the physical symptoms don't kill you when you're 60 or so, because that's what they say undiagnosed Cushing's tends to do, is early 60s. But if it's not that, then the mental symptoms will drive you crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Or